I never heard of Innisfree or where it was located or what it offered or how it could help my husband until Christmas Eve when we couldn't get any help and medical help because of the holiday and everything. My counselor asked me, would I consider having my husband admitted to Innisfree? And I really felt that if she recommended it, it was a place she trusted. And I trusted in her. And so I said, yes, anything that will help him. When they were transporting him, he was comatose at the time because he never made a sound, never moved or anything. He just, and it was this, when I walked through the front door of Innisfree, I can never forget the feeling of peace that I felt. And I don't know who the lady was, but her smile was so encouraging. I don't remember who they were, but that feeling of peace and serenity as we came in, I just can't express what it was. And that remained with me for so long. And I remember my husband had dementia for quite a few years. But there was one day, it was during his lucid moments, and we were standing looking out the window at the apartment, and he looked at me, he put his hand around my shoulder, he looked at me, he said, you know, when I'm resting at the funeral home, you will look at me and say, Jack, did I do everything for you that I could? And he said, I'll answer you back, and I'll say you sure did. And but his last 5 years were very difficult. He hadn't known me for so long. He thought I was the nice person who was taking care of him. And he would often ask me to leave because his wife was coming home and she would be very upset with me. You know? So these were kind of things that you had to, you know, to deal with. I still didn't feel that his death was imminent. But we were at Innisfree for 6 hours. He arrived at Christmas Day at 3:30 and he died at 9:30 at night. But I was so peaceful when he died. I was holding his hand, I was saying the Chaplet of Divine Mercy and just rubbing his arm. And I looked and his breathing was getting more shallow. And I called the nurse and I said, I think, is there something happening to my husband? Because he opened his eyes just halfway and then closed them again. So she came in and she tested him and she said it'd be another 24 or 48 hours. And I said, okay. So I just stayed there with him. And he, all of a sudden, things started to slow down. And I looked in his color and everything was stopped. Very calmly, I just called the nurse and I said, I think my husband has passed away. And she stood in the door and she looked and she said, oh, so fast. Because she had just been in about 10 minutes. And I was telling one of my stepdaughters that, and she started to laugh. And I said, why are you laughing? And she said, Joan, she said, you know, Dad, hurry up, Jack. She said, he was going whether God was ready for him or not. But I will never forget those nurses, the staff, the volunteers. They were so compassionate. They were so real angels of mercy. And they were very, very special people. To have a vocation to work in this surrounding, you need to be very special and have so much empathy. And that's everything that I saw here. And to this day, I see the same thing. from everyone. And like I say, Innisfree gave me the greatest gift they could ever give me, was to be a wife to my husband just before he died.